up? How is everybody doing? It's pretty good Friday, if you ask me. We got Mother's Day right around the corner. I am super freaking excited for that. We're coming off the heels of Valentine's Day. We had a huge Valentine's Day. You guys blew it out of the water. It's pretty incredible. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. So today, I've got Ace Swinger on with us. Ace did over $100,000 in revenue on Valentine's Day. He's been an entrepreneur since he was 15. Told me that before I started the Coffee with Michael. You're pretty freaking cool. We are going to dig into all of that. I'm already super interested to talk to him a little bit more. This is going to be a great one. If you're brand new, welcome. ShineOn's the best print-on-demand company on the planet. And Coffee with Michael is probably the best digital marketing e-commerce show you can find right now, streaming live on Facebook. It's amazing. It's guaranteed to be amazing. All right. Best one this week for sure. What is up? We got Michelle from Chicago. All right. Lots of Facebook users. Go to, do me a favor. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard the ability to show me your name. That would help a lot. Diana, what is up? How you doing? Martin, way to be. Veronica, peachy. I like it. We got Facebook user from Vegas. How goes it? How goes it? How many people are here from Ecom Family Academy? Let's see like a hashtag EFA in the chat right now. If you're from the Ecom Family Academy, let's do hashtag EFA in the chat right now. Let's do it. All right. North Carolina, what is up? Salt Lake, 30 to 60 mile an hour winds. That's no fun. I'm in Kansas, and we get a ton of wind here in Kansas, too. We may as well live right next to the ocean. So we have these vast rolling plains that the wind just sweeps across. All right. Let's see. Lots of folks from the Ecom Family Academy. Here we go. We got like an Ecom Family Academy waterfall here in the chat. I dig it. Way to be. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. But you're all Facebook users. You need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and let me see who you are. How do I know it's not just one person spamming that like over and over again? All right. Virginia, what's up? Dan, Boise, Idaho. Do me a favor, like this post. Like it. There's over 120 people streaming this. The count keeps going up. Like the post. I want to see more likes on the post. I think we got like 6 likes on this post. Come on, people. Show us some like love on the post. We're up to 34. Okay, that's better. 150 comments, though. We are rolling. All right. It's us for sure. That's right. Okay. Let's do this. Let's talk about our swag winners from last week. First up is Vered. Thank you, ShineOn, for quality products. Watchers are my favorite. Another great review for my Etsy shop. Great quality, and the engraving was beautiful. Thanks for sharing this. You got it. We love to see that. We have something really cool to talk about in a minute, too. I forgot. I'm super excited about this. Okay, then Ela. My first month with ShineOn at Germany. Not bad at all, I guess. I made the ShineOn challenge, ran Facebook ads. Every day I test 3 new products and 1 old. Let's see, a real winner isn't there yet. Etsy could run a bit better, but at Shopify, I do a good run at the moment, 100% free shipping, changed the 50% off to 27% off. Today's my best sales day so far, $1,500 in revenue, 1,500 euros rather. Is that euros or pounds? That's pounds, isn't it? 1,500 pounds in revenue. Way to be, that's amazing. Is that pounds? It can't be pounds. It's selling in Germany. It's got to be euros. Why am I thinking the euro sign is different? Is that just me? That doesn't seem like that. I'm going to have to look at that later. It's going to bother me. Selling in Germany. I want to talk about that real quick. If you catch a winner in the United States, if you're scaling in the United States, I highly, highly recommend you try to scale into some foreign languages. Highly recommend it. This year, Western Europe is ripe for the taking. We've got Amsterdam over there. I can tell you that we've had many sellers that pop a winner in Europe, and it's like a blue ocean. They have no competition. The CPAs are really low. You can scale over there. Do not overlook that. if you find a winner in the United States, it could add 20, 25, 30, 40% of additional revenue to your scale. So do not ignore that. It's something you definitely want to take seriously. And Shopify just recently launched a new feature. It's called Markets, which helps you. It like automatically sets your store up to receive foreign currencies, and it translates product pages and all that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Shopify Markets. It's never been easier before. Do not overlook this. Now, I highly recommend you make sure you have a winner in the US before you try to scale to Europe, right? Unless you're just like a native German speaker and you live in Germany or something like that. Sure, go after those markets all day long if you're over there and you kind of know it already. If not, start in the US, get something scaling, and then scale horizontally into these markets. So people are going to make serious money exploiting these markets this year in a way that they haven't in the past. Not only that, but we now have cash on delivery, right? Cash on delivery takes it to a whole new level. It allows you to reach a whole new market of buyers that have not been reached yet. It's pretty incredible. Okay, so thank you for sharing this, Ela. Really appreciate that. You've got some swag coming your way. If you too would like some swag, every week we grab 2 to 5 posts from the group. We're kind of doing it at random. We're looking for testimonials, posts with screenshots, new milestones being hit, value posts, tips and tricks, stuff like that. If we feature your post here in Coffee with Michael, we'll send you a discount code to our merch store, and you can pick out some free swag. We got hoodies, t-shirts, hats, backpacks, journals. We even have kids stuff. My daughter's got a ShineOn onesie that she wears about once a week. So we got all kinds of stuff in there. So go check it out. All right, latest news. This is what I'm really excited to tell you about. We're number 2 now in the App Store. How about that, baby? Now, we didn't displace Printify, though, unfortunately. So remember I told you I've been taunting Printify, like on my Twitter and stuff like that. I've been telling them, like, hey, we're coming for you. We're going to displace you in the search results. Well, we haven't displaced them yet, but somehow Printful got knocked off their throne, right? So they got a little piece of humble pie here. They are now number 3. We are number 2. Printful is next. We're coming after you. I don't know if anybody from Printify. I don't know if anybody from Printify is watching this, but your days are numbered. I hope you're shaking in your little space boots. We are going to displace you in the search results. We will be number 1 in no time. Now, family, I need some help here. Do not let my taunts be in vain. Please, I need your help. Go to the Shopify App Store and leave us a review. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking for an honest review, okay? You can use ChatGPT to help you write it. I mean, how easy is this? Go to ChatGPT, say, hey, write me a review for ShineOn. Here's what I think, bullet. It'll write you a couple paragraphs. Just go drop it into the Shopify App Store. That would mean the world to us. It seriously would. Just leave us an honest review. It'd mean the absolute world to us, and it would help us displace Printify from the number 1 spot here. So anyways, we couldn't have done this without you. Seriously, thank you very much. For anybody that's left a review, you have no idea how much it means to us. We're at 211 reviews, 4.9 star rating, which is incredible. Thank you so much. Leave us an honest review. We would appreciate it. All right. We got some new products coming up. We have the vertical name necklace. Vertical name necklace. Vertical name necklace. What's cool about this product in particular is that in a few weeks' time, we're going to be releasing a necklace where you can put multiple names on a single necklace, and they're going to hang vertically like this. So with Mother's Day around the corner, you've got the opportunity to sell a necklace where someone can come through and they can add 3-4 names to it, like the names of the kids. Hello, that is right around the corner. Okay, so that's why this product is so freaking cool. So this launches, let's see, today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's like in an hour, okay? Should be off Coffee with Michael by then. Start thinking about that right now. It's really cool new product. All right, the gift wrap is now available in the EU. Anybody selling a lot of units in EU, gift wrap's now available. Go add that. Go add that to your product page, even though I think it may come on automatically. I can't really remember. Go add that to your product page, but this is now available in the EU. So how about that? Pretty freaking cool. Then we got some new products. By the way, we have so many products coming. I'm going to tease a little bit about some new products in just a minute. But we're just scratching the surface here, scraping the surface. We've got keychains, right? So you've got hearts and dog tags. They're in gold and they're in the like stainless color. These sell super well on Amazon and Etsy. We actually had a seller that was doing like a few thousand of these a week in Q4 on Amazon. So these sell really well. So anyways, Amazon and Etsy, though, you can't really get the price points quite high enough to do direct response like Facebook and TikTok, but they sell really well. Same with email. I mean, like you can push them out to your existing customers, put them in your store, pick up some organic stuff. These are great for those kinds of sales. Pretty cool here. Then we've got the engraved wood watch, also available in the EU. Making sure I'm not missing something here. Yeah. We got the engraved wood watch also available in the EU now. So if you want to sell this in the EU, it is available. Keep in mind, every time we release something in the EU, what's cool about it is that there's a good chance nobody in the EU has really seen this product before because no one's scaling it. So it's got novelty. It'll stop the scroll when people see it, and they'll be more likely to buy it. So go test these things out. Pretty amazing. Let's see. Okay, before I get into that, I'm going to tease these new products. At ShineOn, we have been wanting to take the necklace game to the next level for a long time. And we have some what we're calling hyper-personalized products right around the corner. Now, when I say hyper-personalized, don't think like message card personalization with like clip art figures and stuff. We're actually working on that, but that's not going to be ready by Mother's Day. I'm talking about where you like I don't want to give it away. Just imagine a necklace where you get to pick out a certain number of pendants and you get to engrave the pendants and you get to add gemstones to the pendants and you get to sell it with a message card. That's what I'm talking about. We have a few different styles of that right around the corner. I told everybody a few weeks ago that we improved our graphic items. So every single Mother's Day, we see buyer upload like dog tags and hearts and stuff sell really well. When I say buyer upload, I mean where the buyer comes in and they add an image, right? They like upload their own photo. So it works super well in like the ultrasound niche and where moms come in, they'll upload pictures of their kids and all that stuff. So graphic, dog tags and hearts and pendants, we just improved that whole process, okay? The graphic, the printing now on those, it's super sharp. It's at a higher resolution than it was in the past. The colors are extremely vibrant. They pop. We also improved the process so that it takes like a day now to fulfill. Like it used to take like 3 to 5 days, right? There's a whole process we had to go through to manufacture one of these. We've improved that significantly. We cut out a lot of steps. We improved the product overall and the process. So we can fulfill one of these now in about the same amount of time as it takes to fulfill a message card. Now, I say all that to say, we haven't published this yet. It's right around the corner. It will be published. This is coming for Mother's Day. So I'm just saying this to say, like, start prepping for Mother's Day now. Start thinking about what you want to sell. These will do really well. They will do really well. And they're going to have a smaller defect rate than we have in the past. It's awesome. This is a huge improvement. It's a game changer for us internally. We're super excited about it. Okay. Let's see. So I got the hyper personalized. Okay. There's one other. I'm probably not spilling the beans on this one yet either. I'm just going to tease it. There's a new product category that we are aiming to launch first week of April. It's very popular. Nobody in the United States is producing this yet, and it works perfectly in our niche, right? So it works amazing in the family niche. Also, you can sell it as a standalone, this new product category. You can sell it as a standalone, or you can pair it with jewelry. So you're going to be able to take this product, you're going to be able to actually add like a jewelry upsell to it or like a bundle to it, right? It's pretty cool. It's creative. Nobody else has done this. Should work super freaking well. So stay tuned for that. That I'm really trying to get that out by the first week of April. That's going to be pushing it a little bit, but it's coming and it's going to get here before Mother's Day. So super excited about the new products we have coming your way. All right, then the live preview. Just for anybody who doesn't know, I think we have the best live preview in the industry right now. I have scoured the internet looking for a live preview that's comparable to this, and I haven't found it. Your buyer gets to come in, they get to write their name, and it literally like generates a preview on the fly. This works right now for our old name necklace, and we actually have it like complete and pushed for the new name necklace, the thin script. I think that's what it's called, the thin script name necklace. And it works there too. So this is super cool technology. This will definitely increase conversions. The buyer experience is just enhanced so much with this. So anyway, super cool. Okay, let's keep going. All right, Mother's Day. We've got March 19th in UK and Ireland. Probably too late for that one. We got Hungary, Lithuania, Portugal, Romania, and Spain on May 7th. The big kahuna is this one right here. It's May 14th. You got a bunch of English-speaking countries all having their Mother's Day here. You got USA, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and then I thought there was one more. I get confused on this every single week. So maybe it's just these four: USA, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, all on May 14th. Obviously, in the USA, Mother's Day is a massive holiday. Hallmark has turned this into a whole thing. So in the USA, Mother's Day is a compulsory gift-giving holiday where, like, if you don't give a gift to your mom and to your mother-in-law and all of that, like you're going to feel bad and probably a little guilty. Those are my favorite kinds of holidays, by the way, because people are like definitely going to buy stuff. So if you show the right ad to the right person at the right time, cha-ching, they will throw their money at you. Okay. So anyways, May 14th is the one you want to be aiming for. This is the big kahuna. All right. ShineOn Pro. I think this is it. Yep. ShineOn Pro. $47 a month. It's an amazing value. You get a bunch of exclusive training. I think we've got 4 or 5 courses in ShineOn Pro. Basically, all of our old courses, we'll just put them in ShineOn Pro and we'll grow the repository forever. You get access to Amazon FBA. So if you want to do 2-day shipping on Amazon, we give you the ability to do that through ShineOn Pro. You get cash on delivery. So you have to apply for this. And I only recommend that, if you've got some experience, you apply for it. You need to have a product that's scaling in the United States already, or at least have some chops to like set up a store in a foreign language and stuff. But if that's you, apply for it. We'll let you in, and you can get CPAs that are like cost per acquisitions. They're like $5, $7, $8. I mean, it's the cheapest we've ever seen. Cash on delivery is amazing. We've got our own post-purchase app, so you don't have to pay for one-click Zipify's one-click upsell or anything like that anymore. That's included in ShineOn Pro. We have weekly office hours, VIP support. If you write in a message, your support request will go to the top of the list. We also give you access to our UGC store. This is a paid store. Look at your ShineOn Pro membership like a Costco membership. It gives you access to wholesale prices and all the UGC that we create. So we're really not looking to make money here. We're just trying to cover costs. And we sell like our videos and a bunch of stuff for like $10 a pop. So go check that out. All that's in ShineOn Pro. It's $47 a month. It's an absolute no-brainer. And we have some more stuff we're going to be adding to ShineOn Pro here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Okay, the challenge. If you're brand new, okay, and you've never sold ShineOn or done e-commerce before, you want to sign up for the challenge. It's completely free. We just made it free about a week ago. Go to ShineOnChallenge.com. We will walk you through exactly how to sell your first product. We'll tell you how to register your business, set up your store, pick out your brand, pick a name, find your first niche, create your first product, run your first ads. We take you through everything in the challenge. ShineOnChallenge.com. It's completely free. And if you sign up for this and you complete it, that's the important part. If you sign up and you complete it, right now, 90% of our merchants make their first sale. Last week's data, I'm not exaggerating. Last week's data, 93% of everybody that came through that cohort last week made their first sale. You've got to complete the challenge, though. This is the important part. You got to complete it. You got to implement the steps. If you do, you have a high chance of success. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but the challenge will equip you. And then, anybody at ShineOn is rooting for you on this, and we'll help you. We'll go way out of our way to help you make your first sale. Okay, leave me a review. apps.shopify.com. Search for ShineOn. This is what the icon looks like. Here's what the app page looks like. Scroll all the way down and click this button that's barely visible to the naked eye because Shopify's UI on the reviews is a little messed up. This button right here that's white and you can barely see it that says write a review, click that button right there and then leave us an honest review. It's all we're asking. Leave us an honest review and help us displace Printify from the search results. Okay, if you ever miss a week, if you go on vacation, you get sick in the hospital, whatever it is, maybe you're taking a stress break, whatever they call those these days. When you come back, you can go to featured up here at the top of the Facebook group. Click that. Anything that we've considered announcement worthy in the group, new products, new features, Coffee with Michaels, all that stuff, it should be right here underneath the featured section. Click that. And it's like a curated list of all the news so you can get caught up really quick. Okay. Not bad on time. Every week, I'm trying to get a little faster. Thank you for staying with me on that. Are you guys ready to talk to Ace? You ready to talk to Ace? Let me know in the chats right now if you're ready to talk to Ace. What kind of emoji should we ask for here? Throw me a peace sign if you're ready to talk to Ace in the chat right now. Peace sign. You know the one I really like and I put in all my posts? That guy. How's it going to go? There we go. Give me a bunch of those in the chat right now if you're ready to talk to Ace. Here we go. Let's go. Peace sign. That's what I like. We're ready. There we go. All right. Ace, you ready to come up, buddy? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I can't hear you. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready for me to bring you on? All right, let's do it. Here we go. What's up, man?
What's up, Michael? Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good morning.
Oh yeah, they're excited, buddy. You've brought the whole family out.
Yeah, I'm in the chat.
You've got like 100 people behind you here.
I see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Family that kicks together, stays together, sticks together, kicks it together, whole 9 yards, like my man Reggie say.
That's awesome, dude. Welcome, man. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you, man. I'm flattered. I'm actually honored to be here.
Hey, the honor is all mine. I love being able to talk to you guys every single week. It's amazing. Hey, you know how we like to kick things off around here. Do you have a beverage?
Absolutely. I sure do. Here it is.
All right
here.
Oh, it's the mug. I love it. That's great.
Ready to go. There we go.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we do a digital marketer's toast every single week. It holds the universe together, lowers CPMs, makes Mark Zuckerberg happy, helps us get sales, keeps us all in a good mood, gets that dopamine flowing. Let's raise up our glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks. Join me now for the digital marketer's toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales, to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready? Cheers, everybody. Drink up. There we go. Ah, I like it.
Let's go.
Yeah, everybody's feeling it now. I got to give me one of those mugs. I actually don't have my own mug.
I got 2 of them, man.
Do you really? That's awesome.
Absolutely. I don't drink coffee, but I got two tea mugs, tea and water.
Hey, well, that works. Whatever. However you want to get your caffeine is fine by me.
Let's get it.
Hey, let's talk real quick. So I've got some screenshots here to show everybody kind of Ace's revenue that you've generated. But let's talk about this real quick. So on Facebook, your Facebook profile is Trep Life Ace, and it stands for the entrepreneur lifestyle. Can you talk about that a little bit? How did you get to that?
So Trep Life, right? I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in the urban community. In the urban community, we call it hustling, we call it getting out there, we call it trapping, right? But as an entrepreneur on the legal side of things, I trep. I don't trap. I trep. So trepping is obviously, you can see TREP in the word entrepreneur right there. And the fact that I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15 years old, it's the life that I've been living, and I've been living it for the last 25 years.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I dig it. Super cool. All right, let's go over your revenue here real quick. $100,000 in the run up to Valentine's Day, all in February, which is pretty cool. Looks like you had a $17,000 day. Is that kind of your peak?
Yeah. That was one of the best days I've had in this business. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. And then total lifetime. No, I'm sorry. Total since January 1, 186,000.
Yeah, I think we did over $250,000 at this point since October of last year up to this point now. So yeah, been doing pretty good.
That's amazing.
We've been rocking on this.
Can you share your profit margin on what you made this year?
Profit margin wise, we're somewhere around 15 to 20%.
Awesome. Good for you, buddy. That's freaking great.
We're pushing. We're recovering.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here, let's talk a little bit about you said you've been an entrepreneur since 15.
Yeah,
what was your first business?
It was computer repair. When I was 12, my uncle had given me 2 books. He gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad and a book on computer repair and told me to read it over the summer. And after that, I would go to his house every day after school and repair computers and discuss wealth and business and finance that I learned in Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Wow.
So after 3 years of doing that, of repairing computers, I was good enough to go out there and start performing that service for others in the community. Taught me how to hustle, how to go out there and drop flyers off of people's houses. Nowadays you could give Facebook some money and get in front of 1,000 people for $1. But it took me to get in front of 1,000 people. It took me a lot more than $1 back then to get in front of 1,000 people.
I've been there too, back before Facebook. It's rough. So that was your uncle, you said?
Yeah. So my uncle in Brooklyn, man, he's a very influential part of my life. My father put him in my life to be a mentor because he was already involved in computer science. He had been working for a company in Brooklyn for a long time, in networking and stuff like that. So at the time we knew that computers and technology was going to be the future. It was going to be the place that a young man like myself, I should be established in. And he took it upon himself to make sure that he put himself in position to help me learn certain skill sets that I could take advantage of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So was he, did he own any businesses, or was he entrepreneur as well? Or
man, we talk about a family of entrepreneurs. My father owned a fish restaurant in Brooklyn, fried fish and chips. My mother ran a tutoring service. My uncle had a supermarket. He ran a construction company while having a 9-to-5.
wow.
Actually had me running a small farmer's market inside of a basement of his mother's house in Brooklyn, selling canned goods and bottled and
oh my gosh,
box products and stuff like that to the community. So I've been prepping my whole life, man. Like I said,
that's amazing. It sounds like you had a lot of really good influences.
Absolutely.
You had a great foundation.
For sure.
And so your first business was this computer repair business. How long did you do that?
So that led me to actually being hired by my high school to perform desktop support and network maintenance services. So I provided that for my high school throughout my junior and senior year, while actually interning for other companies. There was a company called Click Radio that I interned for when I was 17. That is at the predecessor of Spotify. This is like the first place that you could get streaming radio based on your genre on your desktop. Started by a brother named Hank Williams. He put me on, and it just got me further and further into tech, into the startup, in the startup side of things. Unfortunately, as all things, I'm a young guy, right? I'm a kid. I'm not so focused on all the business stuff all the time,
yeah.
So I live my life, man. You know what I mean? But it was the experience for growing up there and having these influences and going from having a computer repair company to working for the high school, and that leading to other opportunities, just led me to just continuously finding ways to keep on the grind. And I had to go to college. I had, so I don't. The process is, I'm still a kid. I'm not this great business guy, right? So I'm running all these businesses, but I still got to go to high school. I still got to do homework, and I still have to do these things and live a social life. And I decided that, as with all other people, that I should go to college instead of being an entrepreneur straight out the gate. I decided to go to college and learn more about computer engineering. So my business endeavors while I was in college was mainly focused around businesses that I can leverage, such as multi-level marketing businesses and stuff like that. So I got involved in MLM.
So is this college? When did you graduate? 2001?
I graduated high school in 2001.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math there.
Yeah, graduated high school in 2001. So y'all know, you obviously know how old I am now. I'm 40 years old, right? So I graduated high school in 2001. In 2006, I dropped out of college.
You dropped out?
After being there for 4 years, only having 6 credits left on a computer engineering degree.
Oh, no.
And you're going to ask me why.
What did your uncle think of that one?
Life. Life is one of the things that comes in our ways and helps us grow. And at the time, my wife, who was my wife now, was my girlfriend at the time. And we had been living together. And what happens when you live with your woman? At some point, a baby's going to be on the way. And I had my first son in 2006. And I had to make a decision whether I was going to continue to use my money to pay for school, because I was paying for my own schooling, or would I, go ahead and start leveraging using this money to leverage into a business. and that led into me making the decision that it was best for me to leave so that I can do what I need to do to take care of my new family.
So during college, I mean, it sounds like this entrepreneur theme just kind of runs all the way through. So it sounds like during college you were doing MLM type of stuff. So after or when you decided to drop out, I mean, what was your plan? Did you have a full-time job or?
Well, no job. Had business. Was in multi-level marketing with the company. I was selling legal insurance.
Okay, so you're
and that
still doing that then.
So I was
Got
still
it.
doing that, building on that. I had some money saved up, and I just, again, as an entrepreneur, this is just living the life that I live. I knew what was on the other side of it for me, because at the same time, that same year that I started my company, 15 years old, my brother passed away through street violence. So I knew it was on the other side, for me if I didn't, push forward and get going to where I needed to go. So I took all the chances I could take, took a lot of risks. Ended up moving, left. I was going to college in Virginia, had my son. We had racked up some money and did some things, and ended up moving to Atlanta, Georgia, because Atlanta was like it was bubbling. It was the place to be, right? And had gotten involved in, at the time. So you think in 2007, this is at the height of the subprime lending rage, right? A lot of people were getting into buying homes and investing and getting loans and stuff like that. And because I had a little bit of money in my pocket, I decided to get involved. And I had bought a house in Atlanta, negotiating with a mortgage broker. I ended up getting into business with that mortgage broker, providing loans, small micro loans to individuals who wanted to purchase their first home. So help them clear up their credit and do things like that. So that led me into the real estate game when I moved to Atlanta.
Holy crap. So far you've covered computer repair, you've sold insurance, now you're into real estate.
We ain't do the I sold legal insurance, and later on in my life I sold life and health insurance, but we ain't get there yet. But absolutely moved into the real estate industry on the lending side. But of course, if you guys remember, you all are old enough to know that we had the turn. 2008 came around, a lot of people were knocked off. I had been making loans to business owners to buy equipment and stuff like that, right? So a lot of things that I was heavily invested into the community, and these people were the victims of the subprime lending debacle, and that led to me failing in my business because these people couldn't cover their loans. So I ended up losing everything, not in the first wave in 2008, but in the second wave in 2010. In 2010, which was the second wave of the recession, is where I pretty much lost everything. When I say lost everything, trust me, guys, lost everything except for my mind, except for my experience, except for my family, my wife, and my son. And at the time, I had a daughter as well. Was still here, but I lost my home, battling in courts. But I also gained a lot during that year, because the year prior I had met somebody who has become a brother of mine, who a lot of people know, as far as know my story, Jabari Bey. Jabari Bey came into my life in 2009, and we had been building an entrepreneur and a brotherhood. And you're gonna hear Jabari whenever I tell my story. You're gonna hear Jabari as part of my story, because he's influential as far as me even getting involved in e-commerce. So shout out to my brother Jabari. I know you out there, bro.
So, okay, what year are we on? 2011?
So right now we're in 2010, 2011.
Okay.
This is me losing my home,
you lose everything,
stuff out in the street, everything. Yeah, the whole nine.
So you lose your business, you lose your home, you got your family. I mean, what do you guys do?
Had to move back in with my grandmother.
I mean, emotionally and like mentally here, I'd imagine that was pretty tough. You're not completely gray or anything. I mean, how'd you handle it?
It's a part of my story, and I'm not ashamed to say that I had such a huge failure. It was a big hit to my ego as someone who a lot of my peers, especially when you see it written in the yearbook, oh, this guy is gonna make it, right? He's the one. He's the dude. He's the guy, right? And to take such a hit, it took a lot. But again, I had the support of my wife. I had the support of my brother Jabari. I had the support of my uncle. I had the support. My mother had passed on in 2002, so she had been gone at that point. And my father was ill. He had caught a stroke in 2003, so I didn't have a lot of my parental guidance there for me, but I had my peers, and I had my family, my 2 children and my woman. And that kind of got me through because I knew what was on the other side for me. If I was going to trap, I was going to trap. And trapping led to a life that I couldn't live, and I couldn't put my family in. So I decided to continue trapping. So what ended up happening in 2012, when I had to move, 2011, 2012, I had to move back in. I got involved in media duplication business. My blood uncle, who lived in Virginia, actually had a business, and he allowed for me to come in and help him with the business, and I helped him restructure his media duplication business, and also getting involved in getting a license for life and health insurance.
Well, what is media duplication?
Duplicating CDs for rappers and musicians and entertainers, and creating their disc and their. So this is kind of.
Sounds like. Can I jump in real quick? It sounds like when you lost everything, it sounded like you just kind of knew you've got a skill set. You were gonna first. You knew that you had the hustle and you had the skill set, and you were going to get out there and find a way, figure it out anyway. It's kind of what it sounded like.
That's exactly what it was.
Was it like you lose everything and boom, next day you're finding a way to make it work?
Oh no, I cry every day, man. I was talking to my brother earlier. I was talking to Jabari earlier. Like, bro, I cried. I was in the dark crying. Like, this was a painful time. This wasn't easy. This wasn't like, oh man, I got it. Somebody's. Yeah. Nah, this wasn't easy. It was. If you move into somebody's home who's been living in that home by themselves, and you moving into their space, it's not easy for them. It's definitely not easy for you. So it was internal drama inside of the household. And that was a driving force to say, I got to get out of this. I got to keep pushing forward. So the only thing I could do was to focus on providing and somehow creating an income. So to find a job, no, don't get me wrong. Like a 9 to 5 as an entrepreneur, I work a 24/7. So
yeah,
it was like I could go get a 9 to 5, or I could keep my 24/7. And I decided to keep my 24/7 and continue grinding with my 24/7. And that led to doing different businesses. So the media duplication was one. And then that led to me meeting with in life insurance and health insurance company that was operating as a multi-level business, which means that I can leverage somebody else's work and get an income from it and let that be residual. So that was attractive to me. I got involved in that. But at the same time, while I was doing that, Jabari was doing online businesses. He was doing affiliate marketing, and he was posting on Craigslist and doing
in 2012.
In 2012 and 13.
I had him in a gold mine back then.
So he was going in and he would tell me every day, like, bro, I'm doing this and I'm posting, I'm doing tenant joints and rentals on Facebook, and we creating these pages, and I'm marketing and Max Bounty and ClickBank and all these different. He's telling me all this stuff is going on while I'm selling insurance. So he's doing digital marketing. I'm selling insurance. He's telling me how successful, because it's the wild west when it comes to Craigslist and Facebook and all these early platforms.
It's like the golden age.
The golden age. And he's like, bro, you better get on it. So I'm studying, I'm learning, and as a part of studying and learning, one of the things that he and I always done was invested in our education. We always would partner up and put our money together and invest in a course or a book or something that could give us a little bit more information on what we were trying to approach. And we just kept grinding. So while I was doing the insurance, I was learning digital marketing. So I was then taking my digital marketing skills and building out a way to market for my insurance businesses and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this is still 2012, 13. You see Jabari having success. You start kind of learning what he's learning, because you want kind of a piece of that. And then you start applying what you're learning immediately to the insurance and all this stuff that you're already doing. So what happens next? I think we're like 2013.
So now we're in like 2013, 2014. So we're going into 2014 now. So in 2014, I'm still doing insurance. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm stressed because it's a churn, right? You're constantly, trying to generate leads. And the way that I knew to generate leads back then, because of my multi-level marketing experience, was to just randomly approach people in a supermarket, gas station. Hey, how you doing, buddy? You mind if I ask you a question? My name is da da da. Do you have a family? Just out there prospecting like a
Just sales all the
madman, right?
time,
Going
huh?
sales, heavy sales,
Yeah.
going to seminars. Ed Milet worked for the company that I was with, doing going to seminars and learning from him and just getting the personal development. The personal development that you get out of multi-level marketing and those particular programs, they tend to want to build on you personally so that you can be strong enough to withstand all of the rejection that you're going to be facing when you get out into the sales world, right? So that really helped me. So reading books from, it escapes my mind, but Tony Robbins and a lot of these different individuals, Les Brown and those, and maybe I forgot, those things also helped me stay sane during the worst parts of my life. Absolutely.
There's a book there's a book called Rejection Proof that if you haven't read it and you're into this thing still, you should go check it out. This guy realized he was pretty fragile. Like every time he got rejected, it would like he'd get depressed and he was toast for like a month. And so what he decided to do, he made this personal challenge for himself where I think every day for a year, he was going to go try to get rejected in some way or another. And so he was thinking of these crazy things that he could do. So for example, he drove by a house and he saw that they had like a in-ground pool in the backyard. So he thought he would just stop on the side of the road, randomly walk up to the house and ask them if he could swim in their pool. There's another one he did where like he would randomly drive to a house and ask if he could film like an interview with the people inside. He was doing all this stuff to get rejected. And what's funny is after he got like kind of through being rejected all the time through this stuff where like he didn't even feel it, he suddenly started having people say yes to all this crazy stuff he was doing. And it was because it was like it was like his character arc completed. It was like he entered this area of confidence. And when he would walk up and approach people, for whatever reason, it's like he had charisma. He felt safe. Like there was something there that people trusted, and they started letting him in. There was this weird paradox in the book. But anyways, that's
amazing.
Cool,
I think I'm familiar with that because the lesson was, the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. And
totally.
That's the insurance lifestyle. You sell insurance to people who don't know you from a hole in the wall. Yeah.
So you're saying though that having the mindset, like getting out there, being rejected a lot, being told no a lot, like reaching out and having your hand slapped over and over again actually made it easier for you. I don't know if easy is the right word, but it allowed you to tolerate.
More tolerable. Absolutely.
Yeah, it made the dark place you're in more tolerable.
Yeah, because I was still crying every night. But, it is what it is, right? I was still, trying to find the strength and the courage every night. And again, my young family was that strength and that courage. It's still to this day. I still, I got 4 of them now, 3 girls, and my son who's 16 now, will be 17 this year, is striving, doing really, really well. So, but anyway, so that's that mental toughness comes from actually studying and staying involved and staying in having accountability. And of course, Barry was my accountability partner back then, still is to this day. And just keeping that positivity because he was going through the same thing. He's unemployable just like I am. He works a 24/7 just like I do. And it was that type of grind that we developed that we knew that, hey, as we keep knocking on these doors, at some point they're gonna open. And the doors started to open in 2015 when it's like a lot kind of came together for us. eBay, Amazon, Shopify, all these online marketing platforms are having these booms, and Facebook is having a boom, and Google as well on the advertising side having a boom. So we're like in 2015, we started investing in. I think we invested in this program called the Startup Bros, and we had started studying. Jabari had gotten started with e-commerce before me. I believe he got started in the summertime of 2015.
Gotta watch this Jabari guy. He sounds like he's a first mover on all kinds of stuff.
Like I said, man, that's my bro. And if I'm doing something, he knows, and he's getting put onto it. Because he ended up getting involved in life insurance too. He ended up getting involved in those things too because we share. It is what it is, right? Actually, his lady at the time had gotten involved in life insurance, and he was behind her, supporting what she was doing. So, and it was because we had been discussing everything that we do in our lives when it comes to personal, but definitely on business side, we make sure that we kind of We stay in
That's
tune
awesome.
with each other. So I actually got started, launched my first ad in 2015, December 15th, 2015 was when I launched my first ad. Stressed out because, again, I'm still living with my grandmother. Funds are low. I'm trying to make the most of it. Young family, it's 4 of us. And here I go trying to put money not into the fridge or into the bills, but into Facebook, right? A
And I'm
place
sure it
where
probably
people
felt like
just
putting it into a slot machine almost.
exactly.
Yeah, it's like this feels like a gamble. Yeah.
Yep. And we were preparing to travel because I was living in Virginia. We were preparing to travel back up to New York for the holidays. So I had launched this ad and had to hit the road driving. And it was a free plus shipping offer for a piece of jewelry. So I
On
started
December
in
15th.
e-commerce in jewelry 12/15/2015 with a free plus shipping offer on a necklace.
It sounded like you got all the right ingredients for success here, if you ask me. How'd it go?
A $2 product that I could get from AliExpress that I sold for $10, and people just, hey, it's free. All I gotta pay is $10 for the shipping. It's free. We sold probably in that month in December. I think I probably did $10,000 to close out that month just from that
Nice.
15 days because we were going into Christmas, and then it continued. $12.99. Thank you, Jabari. $12.99 for the product, right? We charged $12.99 for it. So my margins were crazy, and I was selling hundreds of them.
That's awesome.
And
Good for you.
And that's
So you
that's
probably had a pretty good Christmas.
Well, I had bills to catch up on.
I'm not talking about the bills though. I'm talking about like your mental and emotional
well,
state.
it's like the guy. It's like the guy that we talked about earlier. You keep getting these no's. When you get the yes, I don't think it's really that surprising to you anymore. You're like, damn, I did all this work before this. I know that I deserve this at some
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
So now it's like, how do I keep it going? How do I keep it up? And so I don't have to go back to talking to random people in the supermarket, because even though I have been learning digital marketing, life insurance is a regulated industry. You can't just go online and start marketing life insurance to people without it being some sort of oversight, right? So it was difficult for me to get digital marketing on the insurance side, but I could put $50 on a $2 necklace that I could get from AliExpress, but it took 3 weeks to ship to the person. Whatever, I'm signing up for it. And we just through the roof. At that point, we went through so many different products, from free plus shipping to print on demand T-shirts and sweaters to whatever you could think of. Man, I sold Super Bowl rings. I sold
everything sold back then, man.
Everything sold back then.
Good for you. That's awesome.
We made a lot of money. And I don't know if you guys out there in the e-commerce world, if you've ever seen an ad with a car projector, either projecting a light of a team or anything else. If you ever seen those ads back in 2015, 2016, that's what I made close to almost $1 million on, was a product that Jabari and I uncovered, was a light projection. When you opened up your car door, it will project the image onto the ground. And you can load customizable lenses. And we chose to do teams, sports teams, college teams, NFL teams. So that's risky. Don't do it. You're going to get shut down. Trust me.
Yeah, it's not 2015 anymore.
At the time, we went crazy with it. Now, here's how this is how this whole thing comes together, right? Because back then in 2015, 2016, we had met a lot of people in the industry. I don't want to drop a lot of names. We had met a lot of people who had been involved in e-commerce and doing a lot of things. And we were in community with these folks. And we continuously, as we made money, we always kept reinvesting some of that money into these courses. And that either put us in a room with people that we want to be in a room with, or gave us the information that we were seeking to gain to help grow our businesses. So it mainly had to do with buying courses on digital marketing or e-commerce specifically, and then also traveling to Miami and Austin and different places to go and be in community with different people. And that helped me grow my business. So in 2016, in June of 2016, I had generated enough money to save $60,000 and put it in my bank account after having nothing just 7 months prior.
Yeah, good for you.
My wife and I went down to Florida to visit her aunt. was there for a week and said, you know what, let's move here. Ended up moving the family down in June 16th, 2016. Moved the family down to Florida, and just kind of took off from there, just living that life. Right, we're enjoying ourselves, we're making money, but not really focused on the fundamentals of business structure and proper framework. And what I mean by that is we were drop shipping from a company in China, which means that every year China goes on pause for a whole month.
Yeah.
Which is like
Chinese
the
New Year.
hottest month for us in the US, because we're trying to make sure that we keep everything fulfilled on the returns from Christmas and all that other stuff. And we're trying to keep the momentum going into the new year, and China shuts down for a whole month. And I was heavily invested in our suppliers in China. So we were doing really well 2016, and I started selling ShineOn products in 2016 and 2017.
Wow, you were, good grief, you were early.
So you, at the time, you guys were doing those stainless steel hearts and ovals that could be etched, right? And we were going to the so I just got distracted by something. So we was going to other people's stores, and there was somebody who was killing it with dog tags, I believe, at the time. So I went and I designed a dog tag that was military focused, and then we kind of just went crazy with some ShineOn stuff and print on demand, and kind of just took off from there a little bit. And custom cat, and some of your competitors and all those other goals, other guys. We made some.
That's awesome. 2016. Yeah. So
2016.
So what do you do? So what do you do after that? So you found ShineOn. I'm sure you were still doing a lot of other stuff still.
Yeah, still doing a lot of drop shipping. Drop shipping was our main game. Drop shipping was where we made the bulk of our money, and we were selling products that were kind of up and down. They weren't evergreen. And I hadn't been really focused on learning other marketing platforms. I had just been marketing on Facebook. I had been heavily invested, like I mentioned, in those car projectors, and we were selling those. And I thought maybe it'll last forever, right? And it didn't last forever.
So you started to. Sorry to interrupt. You started talking about not having proper business structure and stuff like that. Did that come back to bite you? Did your supplier?
So it did by not growing into the mindset that at some point you either have to make a decision to make this domestic, or you have to create a streamline and make sure that you have what you need, and has to be. And ShineOn does this.
I get it. That's why I leverage ShineOn. You were looking for some solutions, and that's how you found ShineOn. Okay, I got it. I put it together now.
And also with merchants. So a lot happened between what happened between 2016 and 2018 was we made a lot of money. We did over $2 million in sales. Made a lot of money selling a lot of different things, having a lot of different stores. I mean, from selling head shavers to gold bubble necklace jewelry and ShineOn products. We had multiple stores doing a lot of different things. And what ended up happening is, because the bulk of my money was coming from our drop shipping products, and the complaints and the chargebacks started to pile up more than our merchant was comfortable with, and they ended up putting like $20,000 on hold of my money. And on top of that, PayPal put another $15,000 of my money on hold because of the amount of chargebacks that have been coming in, because I didn't have a base of product that I could get out in case my supplier couldn't get it out for me.
You basically got screwed when your fulfillment provider went on Chinese New Year, right?
Yep. They went on Chinese New Year. I couldn't get everything. And my ads were booming, right? Things were going crazy. My marketing, our marketing, what we were doing on Facebook at the time was working. And everything that we tried worked, right? It's like, you want a lifetime budget? That worked. You wanted, I didn't have CBO at the time, but you wanted to do manual bidding. Oh man, put $1,500 on the manual bid and let that thing go crazy. And it did. It went crazy, but the fulfillment side of it jammed us up, and we couldn't get.
Well, you lost your cash flow.
Lost the cash flow. Couldn't cover those. Dude. So as you can't cover the other people who don't complain because your money's being held up, they end up complaining. That money is so. lost everything again for the second time.
Whoa, wait a minute.
What I mean lost
everything?
everything is I had been so invested. All of my money had been going into either ads or product. All of it, constantly, not thinking of anything else. Not. I was completely zoned in on just continuously churning out this cash flow, right? Because the cash flow was what we benefited from. And I didn't have anything else. This is what I know. I didn't know anything else. So I'm sitting here. I can't afford to pay for these ads. They got $40,000, close to $40,000 on hold. I can't do anything. And as that money is being on hold, it's not like it's ever going to come back to me because people are complaining and not getting their products, so they're being refunded. So that money is pretty much being there for the pot for people to just keep taking out of that pot because of their complaints, and it ended up losing all of that money, whatever.
Oh my gosh!
Had to swallow my pride in 2018.
Hold on. Hold on. Like you lost everything. Like you earlier when you said you lost everything, you lost your house. You're living with your grandma. I mean, you were at rock bottom. You said you were crying every night. Contrast that with what you mean here when you say you lose everything. I mean, do you still have your house?
Well, I was renting at the time, so yeah, I still had a place. I still had a place to stay. Yeah, and you know that was, we were able to maintain. So when I say lost everything, I'm talking about lost those stores, right? I lost those stores. I lost those accounts. Facebook had ended up shutting me. Like all the issues that we came across with Facebook having accounts shut down, merchants holding money. There was so many different things that was happening that it all came together in a deluge of problems. And as a solopreneur, I wasn't that well equipped to being able to manage out of it. So I started to panic. I got in panic mode. Like, damn, what am I going to do? I just moved the whole family. Exactly. I just moved the whole family, being crushed. So, you know, I had to swallow my pride, and it ended up getting a 9-to-5 job.
Wow. Holy
working
cow. I thought you were unemployable.
Working for a Shopify store that was doing $4 to $5 million a year in sales.
That's all right.
Worked for them for 6 months as a purchaser because of my experience as a purchaser of my own company, dealing with China back and forth, right? And say, you know what? I still was running some stores. I still, I wasn't all the way out of the game. I still was running some stores and stuff like that. And so, you know what? I'm going to get back in the game. Started making some money with them. Got back in the game. Left that job. Got back into e-commerce slowly, right? This is 2019, slowly. But things still weren't all
totally
the way
different
good.
In 2019.
Yeah, totally different market. Yeah. Everything wasn't as hot as it was before. So I kind of had to say, you know what? I'm spending a lot of money out here in Florida. It was nice. It was cool. You know, let me kind of gather myself back up and maybe I need to go back to Virginia where I'm comfortable. I can navigate a little bit more. And I really had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to continue feeling the pain that I was feeling in Florida, being isolated out there on my own, not being around any family, so to speak, not being so close to family, being in family. My family's on the east, northeast. It wasn't as easy to maintain my sanity. So I decided to move back to Virginia in 2019.
So where's Jabari during all this? Are you like, does he?
We're still, building. He's actually working on other things as well. We were kind of going through the same thing.
Where does Jabari live though? Where you guys?
In Atlanta. He's out there in Atlanta, Georgia.
He's in Atlanta. Okay, so for the whole time, you guys are like it's like a remote partnership kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go back.
Yeah. So I go back and in 2000, I'm working on a lot of different stuff. We ended up starting. I was working on rebuilding my credit. Right. I was mainly focused on rebuilding myself because being so cash heavy and dealing with cash, I was working on building my credit. Rebuilding my credit, getting my life back together, just kind of focused on rebuilding myself financially and everything else. So I ended up putting e-commerce to the side, started looking at other things. We ended up doing so many things that I really can't remember, and just to shorten the time. Just knowing that as an entrepreneur, we stayed doing entrepreneurship. Actually, in 2020, we got back into e-commerce. Both he and I got back into e-commerce, selling health health tea, shrink tea.
Tea, like matcha tea and all that stuff.
Yeah, tummy teas and all that stuff that the Instagram baddies was out there promoting. Right?
Nice.
So e-commerce and digital marketing. So digital marketing had become my thing. Like I can go ahead and stick with digital marketing and continue to learn certain things, then I can really benefit
For sure.
From anything that I'm doing. Right. So
yeah, I think marketing is probably one of the, if not the most valuable skill you can learn. I mean, what skill is more valuable than just knowing how to make money? I mean, you can literally go anywhere and create value if you understand kind of the psychology of marketing and the formulas and the frameworks that go into it. You can apply it to anything.
Yep. And matter of fact, so at that time, he just reminded me, Jabari was working on doing Walmart automation. He was actually setting up Walmart automation stores for other clients, but putting together teams from Upwork and putting teams together to run Walmart.
So like agency type stuff.
Yep. So we have been doing like agency work and that kind of thing. And of course, Jabari always helped me out, bro, because I can't remember everything. I'm trying to keep it short. But just to show you guys that, we kind of I put my foot in a lot of different pots, and I'll say that that's a mistake. And it's going to lead me to the end of this story that leads us up to today. So what in 2020 and 2021, we're talking about pandemic. So our digital marketing skills we're selling masks and we're selling gloves and we're getting supply from China and we're doing a lot of different things. I started a CBD company. I opened up a CBD store here in Virginia. I started doing certain things that I kind of established myself more locally. That I can build some revenue with a store there in partnership with the people that I was dealing with on the CBD store. CBD was something that was really hot. So we kind of did our thing with that. Again, we were selling belly tees, and I made a lot of money because we had the marketing skills to do that.
And this is 2020.
And this is 2020 and 2021.
Yep. E-commerce was just going gangbusters.
So it was going crazy, right? And then in 2022, Jabari hit me like, "Yo, you remember this dude named Reggie?" I'm like, "Nah." He was like, "Yo, he was in this mastermind that we was in." I'm like, "All right, well, yeah, let me see what he's talking about." So he showed me Reggie's Econ Family course, and Reggie and I, to tie it back into 2015 and 2016, when I had mentioned traveling to Miami and Austin and all these different places and meeting with all these individuals and being a part of masterminds, at that time, Reggie and Tanya were a part of those same masterminds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we had rubbed shoulders.
Yeah, it's a small community actually when you start getting into it, but that's awesome.
Right? So it's kind of eerie, but then you think about it, man. So we had been in this, we had shared the same energy in the same rooms or on the same conference calls and the same stuff. So when he reintroduced me back to Reggie, he was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, he's the guy that was really going crazy on the Google ads. Oh, he's showing TikTok in his new program, and he's still in the game. He stayed consistent. He didn't change up. He didn't move to this and move to that and do this and do that, because nothing wrong with what me and Jabari do, because we have SaaS companies and we got credit repair companies and all of that. But Reggie stayed. He stayed.
Yeah, there are two. We should talk about that just for a second, because there are I see this with entrepreneurs. You have entrepreneurs that kind of get into everything. So like, I've got a friend that he just constantly amazes me with the stuff he comes up with. Like right now, he's done everything. He's started local service businesses. He started like security operations businesses. He started SaaS stuff. He's done marketing things. Right now, like, and by the way, he's done the crypto thing where like he was putting those devices on his like roof or whatever. That were like, he gets into mining. Right now he moved to Denver, Colorado. He literally, I'm not making this up. He just, on a whim, he started doing this 2 weeks ago. He's panning for gold, and he's like grinding up electronics and stuff and getting like gold and palladium and crap out of them. It's just insane. So like, my point is, you have the entrepreneur that kind of, it's like they go scattershot, right? I also kind of feel like I tend to get that way. I've got like a local service business right now. I've got some other things I got my fingers in. I try to create multiple small income streams just for redundancy's sake. But then you have on the other side of the coin, you got entrepreneurs where it's like they're just laser focused, tunnel vision. It's like they've got an axe and they have a piece of wood and they hit that damn piece of wood in the same place over and over again. And it takes 5 years, but eventually that wood cracks and they have this like insane breakthrough, right? It's like I've seen both sides of the coin here. It sounds like you're more scattershot and Reggie was more hitting the wood in the same place over and over again.
But the thing is, because I have been involved in e-commerce and digital marketing, I did crypto and all. I made a lot of money in crypto. So money has been made in a lot of different industries, right? We made a lot of money in crypto. We did that whole, because you think about 2018, 2019, I'm making all this money in e-commerce. I'm seeing Bitcoin go from 6,000 to 10,000. So I invested in that. Sure. And we hit 20,000. So you could tell, you know what we did with that. So we went crazy with crypto at that time, right? So when Jabari said, "Yo, dude got the course. Let's, you know how we do. Let's go ahead and invest in the course so we could pull out some nuggets and help us continue doing what we're doing." So we started to learn. And then he was looking at POD, and I was like, I'm already familiar with ShineOn. I already know how that whole thing works. In 2012, I was creating designs for CDs, right? I was creating CDs for these records, for these record companies. So I'm doing design. So I'm learning. I learned Photoshop way back then. So I knew how to do creatives and all that stuff. So all of my skill sets that I had generated up until this point, all serendipitously came together.
They're all coming together. That's awesome.
But the key to it was I had to commit and say, this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to focus on nothing else. We have all these other things going on, but I'm going to focus on this and grind this one out. And we invested in the course, I believe, in the summer of 2022. Fooled around a little bit, didn't really get serious until I decided I'm going to get serious with it. Got serious with it in September. Was really putting money out there, investing money in TikTok. This is
less than a year ago. I mean, we're talking less than 7 months ago.
Yeah, this is less than a year ago. I really serious said I'm going to commit. I'm going to stay focused on e-commerce. I'm going to take this course because this family, Tanya and Reggie, what they're going to provide me with is some of the little pieces that I was missing on when it comes to leveraging other marketing platforms. But it turned out to a whole lot more. Shout out to Reggie and Tanya. I love y'all family. Thanks for everything that y'all are doing, because it's not just about the course. What he's created over there is something completely different. He has something really nice going on.
That's awesome. I often I kind of love what Reggie's doing, because one of the things we've really focused on at ShineOn is community. I mean, like, we're doing the coffee with Michaels, we're in the group. Like, a lot of times people in the community, they know different people inside the company. I mean, I don't know any other print-on-demand companies like that. Like, they'll know me, they'll know Eric, they'll know John, Carlos, Tammy.
Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Tammy. Carlos is my bro, by the way. Shout out to Carlos. Me and Carlos talk all the time, man. Carlos.
Yeah, it's awesome. And like, I feel like Reggie is doing the same. He's really focused on community. And I love that. I feel like, anyway, I really like what he's doing over there. I just feel like it really complements kind of the ethos here at ShineOn. But anyway, go ahead. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I had still been working on some things. You see, I got this shirt on called GWAP, Generating Wealth on Purpose. That's something that I have been involved in, because we were looking at how we could benefit. I was building my credit. How can I help other businesses leverage their credit and all this stuff? And I said, you know what? I'm going to put this to the side, focus on what I was getting off of e-commerce, decided to go crazy. I spent about $2,000 on TikTok and didn't make a sale. And I was like, yo, what is going on? Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
You're like, this ain't easy anymore.
This ain't easy no more. I wasn't doing, because Facebook had been so up and down. iOS 14 happened to have, it was crazy, right? So I was like, I want to learn a different platform. TikTok started taking my money straight out of my pocket. I hit Reggie up like, yo, this ain't working, bro. What's going on? He's like, yo, just stay committed, stay focused, boom, boom, do this, Decided to stay with it. September, doing my research, following the process. So when it comes to, like, people always ask, what's the research process? What's the, the scaling and the ads and all that stuff, right? I'll say this, and I'll keep it real simple, because one of the things that I've learned prior to any course, one of the first things that was taught was that these platforms that we use to advertise are also search platforms. And because they're search platforms, you can search for what you want to see and you'll see it. Meaning that you can go and uncover a product that you're looking for simply just by searching for it on the platform. So when it came to product research, I just dug back in my old bag. I utilized the techniques that Reggie was going over, which was very similar because, again, we had been in the same rooms. We had learned some of the same techniques, right? So the research part was extremely important, but because I had an eye for what could work because of my experience, it started to click faster for me because I started getting back into it more heavily again, right? And as I started getting back into it, I took the advice that Reggie gave me as far as when it came to TikTok, and I found a product on Facebook, moved it over to TikTok. A simple slideshow, was a dog tag product, started selling it on September 29th. And I think we did $40,000 or $50,000 in October alone, just off of that product, just off of TikTok.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Jabari had been on Facebook, so he's doing Facebook. I'm doing TikTok, trying to see which one is gonna. You
guys are selling the same products,
selling similar products. Yeah, selling the same similar products. So we would make certain differences, little differences, and stuff like that. So TikTok started going crazy for me. So it was like, all right. So we started to really go heavy on TikTok and learning TikTok, and obviously utilizing the course to learn TikTok. But then being in community, right? Just getting back into community, getting back into the ShineOn group, being involved in the Econ family group, just being back in community kind of put things and blended things a lot more for me, and it's made it more concrete that I'm really good at this. I know what I'm doing. I just need to stay focused long enough to be able to attack it wholeheartedly and really go for it, right? So that product that was selling really well in October, I moved on into September, which was trying to grind towards.
Real quick. So TikTok, the video based, all that kind of stuff. Are you shooting your own like ads with your phone, or how are you getting your ads?
No, the first ad was a slideshow.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, created in Canva. The first ad was a slideshow created in Canva. Had done some spying on some competitors, uncovered, what the music was. If you're part of EFA, Reggie does all that for you. It's easy as crazy. But anyway, so just focused on continuously looking at what's working on TikTok, spending a lot of time on that platform, using their search tool and searching through and seeing what was working, and how long the transitions were, and some of the technical things that sometimes people don't really pay attention to. How long the transitions were, what kind of transition, did it open up with smoke? Did it not open up with smoke? Did it close out with smoke? Did it fade out the music? So I kind of studied a lot of those details, mimic them as closely as possible.
Still doing slideshow?
Still doing a slideshow. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep.
So ran that, went crazy.
That's crazy.
In November, I'm selling the same. I'm still testing other stuff. I'm testing blankets and message cards. It's still all print on demand stuff. I'm on this particular store. I'm focused only on print on demand products, and trying to just grind through it all, and finding success and really getting back into it. Like, all right, we're really doing something now. TikTok started to kind of slow down for me a little bit, but I also was putting some money in on Facebook as well. So I started leveraging both platforms. And by leveraging both platforms, I was able to kind of benefit from the decline in TikTok. I wasn't put in such a hole because Facebook was kind of keeping up with it as well.
For sure.
That went really well until Black Friday. The Wednesday before Black Friday, Shopify shut my account down. The reason why is I had bought a PlayStation 5 and I wasn't going to use it. I was going to just resell it. And I put it up on that same store. Shopify shut it down because they thought I was reselling products that I was not licensed to sell. So for my Black Friday, I couldn't sell anything for the Black Friday.
You put a PlayStation up on your jewelry, on the store you're selling jewelry?
Only because I wanted to have a link. It wasn't active. It was only because I wanted to have a link in case when I had somebody to wanted to buy it, I could just give them a link.
And so it was like in draft. You're saying
it was in draft. It wasn't.
Oh wow, they still hit you for that, huh?
That's still hit me for it. They want to see receipts and all. I sent them the receipts but it slowed me down. It completely slowed me down.
Yeah, what did you do? Did you throw the product on another store, or what did you do?
I quickly. And within 48 hours, I had a whole nother store, threw the product up on another store, threw a pixel in there, tried to, and
oh my gosh. And this is around Black Friday?
This is during Black Friday. This is
my
Friday.
God.
This is the Black Friday. This is Friday itself. This is Thursday. Wednesday, they shut me down. Thursday, I'm like, I got to put a new store. Friday, new store is up. Friday, I'm trying to catch sales on Friday night. Now, sales are still coming on the Shopify stores that they had everything on hold or on the first store. But I couldn't access any of that money. So I was like, I'm not going to keep giving y'all money if I can't access it. So let me give another store the money, right? Running ads, trying to catch up. It was a mess. Stayed in the game, though. And, went crazy. And then it kind of picked back up during December after they released my account. A week later, they released the account and it started to pick back up a little bit. But because I had taken such a hit in the heat, it was rolling. And with these algorithms, when you're rolling, you put a pause on it. It's very hard to restart and restart.
Well, also, like it would be hard to talk me out of this. I am almost convinced that Facebook, the algorithm is so advanced now, it knows what you're selling. Like I take one of our message card jewelry products or the dog tag or whatever. Like I think it scrapes the entire image. It's looking at words, looking at product. And if there is somebody selling that product well, high click-through rate, good conversion rate, I think Facebook gives preferential treatment to that person. And if you launch a new store, I think Facebook knows you're like they think you're a copycat. And I do not think they're giving copycats the boost. Now, I'm not saying there's I always tell people, imitate before you innovate, right? It's like you kind of got to look at what's working and try to, in a way, replicate it. But I think if you carbon copy, it is not going to help you in any ways. I say that to say it sounds like you kind of experienced that because you had the store is working super well, right? You launched the new store and you were saying it was kind of picking up, but it never got all the way back to the old store. Is that kind of what you were saying?
The new store made sales. The old store it took a while to get back, but that product never came back. That particular product never came back. Yeah, that never came back. So there was other products that we were moving. So of course I had my brother, yo man, what you selling? Right. So he told me what he's selling. He's like, yo. So I was like, all right, man. So I saw it. I see the design. Of course, we share with each other, man. That's one of the things that I love him for is we share. We never, try to be too tight with our stuff. We share the design.
I'm sorry, dude. In print on demand, having somebody that will be open with you about their designs and stuff, it really does make a huge difference. When I was getting into it, there was a guy named Peter. He used to be a big ShineOn seller. He and I were talking every day, and he would show me the stuff he had done in the past that worked. And he would share his numbers, and it was so eye-opening. I started to get a feel for how the designs needed to be and how the kinds of phrases that were working. And then interestingly enough, he and I would never share the exact phrases that were working for us, in the moment, but we would do, we would always share after the fact. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, he and I were both scaling a product at the exact same time. And when we showed each other what it was the same phrase. We had completely different designs. We were doing it in different ways, but we both found the same winning phrase. And it both lifted us through the entire Q4. It was awesome. But anyway, having somebody, a buddy, that you can do that with, it is invaluable. It really shortcuts your learning.
It is. It does. And we have been in the trenches together, so I know I could trust them. Right. So now, of course, I didn't take his design exactly as it was. I switched it up. I added colors. I switched up some of the words. I switched up the tagline. I made it unique. Right. But it was still along the same lines. It was humorous. It was tongue in cheek. And it was something that we started selling in December, and it was showing some promise. However, because of how things go from December 25th to throughout the new year, we kind of shut things down and waited to relaunch this particular message card product in January. So in January of this year, January 1st, I turned the ads back on. And I'm going through the process again of slowly, building up the budget, slowly building out so that we can get to the point. Because what happens when it comes to Facebook, they don't like you throwing too much at them too fast. They kind of want you to be a little narrow-minded as far as what you're focused on, right? So I learned that in the past. So I kind of brought some of that stuff back, and just kind of started slow again, right? Started slow again, but I forget at times that you have to start slow, and then sometimes I get overzealous and I throw more money at it, and I lose, and it's like I need to come back and reel it back in.
Throw good money after bad. Yep.
Yeah, throwing good money after bad. So at this time, the dog tag product is selling selling a little bit. But
we're in January of this year.
We're moving in January of this year. We're moving into this message card product. Jabari's selling this message card product on one type of necklace. I'm selling a similar message card product on a different type of necklace, and we're trying to see, what works and how, Now he's running a store on his own. I'm running a store on my own. We're trying to leverage as much as we can and gather as much information as we can and share it between each other, right? So he's making his sales on that product.
That's awesome.
He's running on Facebook. He didn't have a lot of success on TikTok. I had more success on TikTok with the dog tag, not so much success on Facebook with the dog tag. The message card product didn't work so well on TikTok. We moved over to Facebook and started building on Facebook. Now, one of the things that I knew as far as when it came to a product that wins is to create multiple iterations of either the design, or not either, but of the design, of the tagline, the message, and try to maximize all the different points that you can to see what hits, and ended up locking in on a design that really hit really, really well.
So it was the same phrase, but you were doing variation testing.
Exactly. Same phrase, variation testing.
Sorry.
Which means that you might add a color, take out a graphic, add a graphic. Add a comma or a period and make it a new sentence. So little things, right? Bolding out a phrase, bolding out a word.
So hey, can I jump in real quick? I want to make sure anybody that's new in the audience, they're staying caught up with this. So what Ace is saying, and Ace, you correct me if I get this wrong. You found a phrase that was winning for you, right?
Yep.
Like there were signals in your data, like coming back from Facebook and TikTok, that the phrase itself was on, like you were on to something. And then what you did was, after you kind of locked in on the phrase, you started testing little things in the design. You'd change a color, you'd change like a decal or something like that. And you were basically tweaking the design and running all these tests over and over again to see if you could get like the design that maximally complements the phrase, because then you create a powerhouse product that sells super well. That's what you're talking about here. You locked in on the phrase. Now you're testing different designs to try to see if you can like really get that thing optimized.
Exactly. And really hone in on what works, because again, it's about uncovering what the customer is valuing out of this. So looking at the comments, looking at, what they're saying. Oh, I would buy this. I would buy this if it said this. Okay, I'll write it up and I'll send them a link for it to have them buy it.
That's awesome.
So staying active, right? Staying active in your business, knowing what's going on with your on your Facebook pages, even on your comments on TikTok, if you advertise on TikTok as well. Stay in there, because the people are going to kind of tell you what it is that they like or don't like about it if they are commenting, right? So pay attention to that engagement. So we uncovered this particular design that worked really well. And this obviously is taking, because I want to take it slow. We're talking about January. We're taking a whole full 30 days to test this product out. At the same time, again, ShineOn Pro is launched. I invest in ShineOn Pro. Why? Because I invest in my education all the time. I dig into the IM scaling method. Oh, I know this. I used to do this. 110, all that, right? So
are you talking about the IM algorithm?
Yeah, IM algorithm and all that. Yeah, all that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I had learned that. From another individual that I had spent some money on their course.
That's awesome.
But it just revived what we already knew, right? So I'm like, all right, so this is working really well throughout the end of January. So let's kind of ramp things up going into February. So January we did $60,000 in sales. The majority of that on this one particular product. And was like, all right, so let's go in now and start attacking some of these scaling strategies. Now, it wasn't working for me on TikTok. I tried a few times and I got sales. Yes, I got sales on TikTok and it worked, but it didn't work as well as it did on Facebook. 90% of the sales came from Facebook. And with Facebook, again, you're putting money onto a platform and you want this platform to return $1 to you. it's not necessarily, it's no real specific, and anybody's going to say it's really no real specific technique that you're using. What you're really trying to do is you're trying to find a pocket, increase the amount of money that you're going to spend in that pocket, and you get more results. That's really all it is, right? It's no, now Facebook gives you different options as to how you can increase the amount of money that you spend on an ad. You can increase the amount that you spend by duplicating ads, increasing budgets. You can increase the amount that you spend by creating different types of ad sets, such as CBO campaigns, ABO campaigns, bid caps, manual bids. All those different things just give you a different way of spending money, but ultimately you're just spending money and hopefully and really locking in on the audience that you've captured with Facebook. And Facebook does a wonderful job on its own of uncovering those people for you. They allow for you to create custom audiences and lookalike audiences and all this beautiful stuff that they do that allows for us to scale. And I decided that, again, we're going to take it slow and we're going to go too crazy. And because this was a new ad account, Facebook was limiting me a little bit as to how much I could spend. They ended up capping me at about $5,000 a day that I could spend. So I was kind of capped out there. But there's, and I know we've been on, I don't know if we're going over time. I'm talking too much. Please,
you're good, buddy.
Shut me down or whatever. You know what I mean? But there
is no time limit on these. I've gone for like 3.5 hours before, so you're good. We're not going that long, but
if y'all following along, put a 1 in the chat. Let us know that y'all following along. If there's any questions and all, y'all know how to do all that stuff, right? Just shows that y'all getting what we're talking about here. So when it came to Facebook, right? So of course I'm in community. I got Reggie, I got Jabari, I got Calvin, I got a couple of other people that I could now, go back and forth with, right? So I'm quiet because what happens when you start, when you don't make money, you loud in the chats. Oh man, this ain't working. Oh, this. When you start making money, you're quiet because you focused on that ad. You ain't focused on complaining about anything, right? So I'm daily managing my ads. I'm continuously staying in front of it, continuously studying. I'm watching your old videos in ShineOn Pro. I'm going back and watching some of my old programs. I'm digging back in on Reggie. I'm hitting him in the chat. He's dropping information on me. Shout out to Reggie, man, for dropping.
You're doing the digital marketer's toast every week.
I'm doing it. I'm drinking. I'm out here guzzling it out of this cup every day. I'm in front of this computer. Like I said, I work a 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So we're in front of this thing constantly, and really looking at, how can I now leverage all of this experience that I have been talking about over these years? How can I leverage that to have a really powerful month? And what I ended up doing was just putting it in the public that I was going for 100K that month. That was the only difference.
Nice.
Is making a public statement.
So this is February we're talking about, right?
This is February. So the end of January going into February. And I posted my January numbers and said 100K for next month. So I had to commit myself to doing it. See, there's a spirit of things, right? It's not necessarily always concrete and logic as to how things work and why they work. Sometimes there's an ethos where because you're a part of a community, because you're tuned in and you're on that same frequency level, and if you claim something, it's possible that you're gonna actually accomplish it. So I stayed tied in, but what I also did was I lent my expertise to other people in the group and in the group that I was a part of, as far as Reggie, because what Reggie did was very slick, right? Reggie got all the people that's doing something to mentor the people that's on their way up, right? And he got us to do it for free as volunteers. And one of the beautiful things about that is if you are willing to give up of yourself and go out there and give to others, it'll be crazy how you start to receive.
Yep.
So I made myself available to help out, the program that I was a part of. I made myself available to newbies and started. And as I'm going through stuff with newbies and I'm telling them to make this change and go try this on their ad, I go try it on mine. As I'm committing to making sure that I stay in front of this thing and I follow the steps that I put out in that post to commit me to making sure that I get to that 100K that month, I'm doing all of those things. I'm going back and I'm looking at my numbers. I'm going through my KPIs. I'm staying on top of things. I'm managing my ads. I'm managing my budgets. It becomes a full-time job when you're really tuned in like that, right? And of course, I got a family and I got other things going on, but I really stayed focused on, can I maximize what I've been doing in January into February, and within the first 14 days of February, because of the holiday, we hit 100 and some $1,000.
I really love the that you're hitting on a principle when you said that you kind of turned around, you started pouring back in the community. There's a verse in the Bible where it says, "Freely give as you've been given," is how I think it goes. But it's kind of hitting this concept that, like, if you want to be filled up, you have to empty yourself out, right? Like if you want to increase your output, or I'm sorry, if you want to increase your inputs, you do it by increasing your outputs. You know what I mean? It's like it's just this. It's this interesting. It's kind of that you know, that like God guides a ship in motion. Like, I'm not trying to make this overly spiritual. I'm just saying there's a principle underneath all of this, right?
Yes.
Like where like there is some boomerang effect where, like, once you start to pour out, right, it makes room to fill up again, and like the filling up is of a higher quality than what you just had that went out. It's like you're constantly like becoming a new person in this way. Anyway, it's just there's something interesting there in that, but I've seen that over and over and over again with tons of people. This is kind of why mentors, if you notice, like the best mentors, dude, how do they do it? It's like every year they're sharper. Every year they're sharper and they're sharper and they're sharper. And it's this, they have locked into this thing, and they just keep leveling up because of it, you know?
Yep.
Anyway, that's super awesome.
Yep. So it's I really wish I could say that there was any particular trick or anything. It really isn't. You know, Facebook and these different ad platforms, they're in the business of making money, of course, so they'll take your money. But they provide feedback as to where your money is going, and if you really know how to read those metrics, you'll know where your money is going, where it's being wasted, and where it's being, where it's actually capitalizing. And of course, I have to leverage other apps to make sure that all of my tracking is done correctly. But for the most part, all of that 100K was done on Facebook advertising. On this, it was the same design, but about 4 different variations.
That's awesome. So let me ask you,
4 variations. Yep.
it doesn't sound like you're testing in Europe or anything like that. Are you going to consider that this year? Please do. I'm telling you.
So yes, absolutely.
I'm begging our top sellers right now to try it, because everyone's scared because of the language barrier and VAT and some other things. But like the people that are doing it are doing really well.
I absolutely will. I've sold internationally, of course, when we're doing the drop shipping, because from China you can get to obviously get to anywhere from anywhere, right?
Yeah,
We did that. But one of my mentors, this British guy, Jamaican British guy who lives in Florida now, was making a killing over there in UK on a pin product. And
that's awesome.
And so I know for sure that, you know, UK and overseas, man, we could definitely there's definitely a lot that we can do there, and absolutely is going to be added. Now, have I targeted them? No. Have we made sales to them? Absolutely. I've got euros in my PayPal right now that's awesome. That I haven't converted over yet.
I will tell you that where we're seeing people get the most success is in these foreign languages, and it's because there's a barrier to entry. Like once you're in, nobody else is coming through, because it's like none of the lazy people want to do it. You know,
that's right. Yeah, so, go anyway, extra mile. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'd love to see some of you guys in the Ecom Family Academy crack the nut in like Germany, France, Sweden. I'd love to see more of that this year. Anyway,
say no more. They in the chat. They there. We there. Y'all hear what he's saying. Say no more. We got it.
And we at ShineOn obviously are 100% at your disposal on helping you and supporting you, and whatever you need from us, you tell us, we will be there lickety split to make it happen. So let's kind of round this out. So, you know, there's a lot of new people. Your story is super inspirational, right? Not only just kind of how the struggles and the skill sets and all the stuff you've overcome to be successful, but I mean, like, look at this. You nailed $100,000 in February. I mean, there are people watching this right now that would kill to be able to unlock this, right? Like, it's paying off bills. It's an extra vacation. It's being able to quit a part-time job and having more time at home with people. For some folks that pick up ShineOn, this becomes full-time. They quit their job. They're able to have more time. I mean, this is kind of what Reggie talks about all the time. It's about creating the lifestyle that you truly want to live and providing a better life for your family and all this stuff. Let's zero in. What are, like, for new people now, what are like your top 2-3 tips for new people that just listen to all this, just watched all this? They say, yeah, I want this too. What are your top 2-3 tips?
Top 2-3 tips. The first thing is just stay committed to your education. You're gonna have to learn a new way of speak. You're gonna have to learn a new way of looking at the world. Remove yourself from being a consumer to being a marketer. So just stay committed to your education. Don't be afraid to invest in your education. It doesn't have to be money. You can invest time. You can invest energy with other individuals who need help with things. But you can definitely stay committed to learning as much as you can.
I totally agree with that one. Totally. I've spent who knows how much money on education. It's ridiculous. I'm with you on that completely. What's number 2?
Number 2, I would say number two. So I had some stuff written down. But number 2 is don't focus on don't focus on the product, right? Focus on the essence or the underlying thing that, see, it's hard as a salesman for me to make this make sense to people, right? Because as a salesman, the product doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on this.
Right? It's
the best of business owners. They could literally run the entire damn business from a dashboard and a spreadsheet without even knowing what the product, the customer, any of that stuff is. You're like, it's secondary, honestly, to the, like, you're providing value, you're solving a problem. Anyway, I'm doing your number 2 for you.
No.
I'll hand the mic back.
Again, and see, that's the thing. You're uncovering. So in your research. Your research is not there for you to uncover a specific product. The research is there for you to uncover a trend, for you to uncover the sentimentality behind a thing, for you to uncover the reason why people are buying. So your research will show you multiple different products, all targeting the same kind of person, and they're all selling. So it's not about the product, it's about why is this thing selling. So as you do more research and you start to kind of put these things together, you realize that this is why this thing is selling. And that worked for this particular message card product. It wasn't, and a lot of people have gone on to copy it, and a lot of people have gone on to try and use it, and Reggie has shown it in research studies and all this other stuff, and it won't work for them because they haven't uncovered why it works. It works because it's humorous. It works because it speaks from a man to a woman, and it speaks in a way that a man would speak to a woman. Most men are not going to get in their Shakespeare bag when it comes to telling a woman a poem. No, they're going to say, yo, I ain't the perfect dude, but I'm yours and you're mine. Like, it's about understanding who's buying it, why they're buying it, who is going to, right? And the small nuances and a lot of courses that people buy, you know, they want you to buy these apps and buy this to go do this research and buy that. But again, these platforms have all this stuff available to you. You just search for it,
sure.
Right? It's all available. You got all these apps, you got free apps, paid apps, and all that. So stay focused on your research, not for the sake of uncovering a winning product, but for the sake of uncovering why something is being sold and why it is being marketed the way it's being marketed and why it's actually having the success that it's having.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this one. I tend to say the same thing a little bit differently. I talk about how, like, the jewelry item itself, it's just a delivery device for the phrase. The phrase is that thing that is the humor that creates the emotional impact. And, you know, we say it's the phrase that pays. If they cry, they'll buy. I've got a new one for y'all this week. I got this one from Sam Parr. if it bleeds, it reads, right? Like if they bleed, they'll read, right? It's like do anything to move them emotionally. Like that is the entire product.
Yep.
That is the entire product. It really
Yep.
is. It's not the jewelry. It's not the paper, the cards printed. It's not a box. It's none of that. It's about the emotional experience you're creating through the product. That is what people are buying.
Yep. And I would say the third thing would be to find your community. See, a lot of the stuff is not about the details and the mechanics or the tactics as to why things works. It's really about the energy that you come into this thing with, whether you're going to commit to it or not, whether you're going to stay focused as to why this thing works, and then stay in community that keeps you accountable. Because accountability is gonna make you stick to those two other prior things that I spoke about, right? So when you become accountable, not just to yourself and your family, but you become accountable to a peer, you become accountable to a group, you become accountable to a Facebook mentorship or whatever it is. When you become accountable, it forces you to get out of this zone where you're willing to accept failure for yourself, but you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of somebody else. You don't want to not keep your word to that group that you became in community with because you got lazy or whatever, something coming up in life or whatever the case is, right? So keeping some sort of accountability partner or some sort of accountability group is crucial. Not for the sake of complaining about anything or, oh, this ain't working for me, or for somebody to feel bad for you, any of that type of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. No. What I'm talking about is for you to be able to discuss real stuff that's going on in your business, how somebody was able to overcome, be able to exchange information. That's what I'm talking about, right?
It's iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. That's the benefit that I've had by being in community with such individuals, like I said, like my brother Jabari and so many other people that we're in community with, not just in the econ family, but just outside of it. Like, again, we spent money and put thousands and thousands of dollars into mastermind programs. Those individuals that were in those programs with us are still a part of our community, right? Yeah. So find your community and stay accountable to what you say you're going to do in this business. If you're going to do
it. Something that people overlook is, like, when you get into entrepreneurship and business, you learn about this, the principle of leverage, right? And it's kind of this idea where you have a small input with an oversized output, right? It's kind of the idea behind leverage. Well, one of the things you're talking about here is like your relationships, your network, it gave you leverage, right? It allowed you to shrink time when it came to your ability to level up and to figure out what's working and to scale better, right? And people don't invest in that or think about that enough. Like, part of finding your community, it's creating leverage for yourself so you can do things faster. You're expediting the inevitable, right? You're expediting time. You're shrinking it. You're allowing yourself to get to level 10 a hell of a lot faster than if you were on your own. That's the whole idea behind that. I totally agree with you. Now, there is a fourth one that you haven't mentioned that I'm going to remind you of real quick.
Remind me of, what is it?
Well, just in your story, right? There's this arc in your story. And maybe I'm wrong here. I want to get your feeling on this. It sounded like focus, right, was a big part of your story. It sounded like, you're kind of scattershot all over the place, which, again, I think that can have its value, right? If you're disciplined about it, right?
Yes.
But it sounds like you like things got focused for you, and that was when you really started to see gains. I mean, what's your feeling on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Being focused and it kind of ties in again to the commitment side, to say that I'm going to commit myself and my energy to put all other things aside and focus primarily on this. And if I can do that, I gave myself 90 days. If I can do that for 90 days, so it goes into what we were talking about, beginning of October to December, right through December was my 90 days. And I stayed committed to it and stuck with it. So being focused long enough to see the result when it comes is a key. And that's been my thing. And like I mentioned, in January, I made a post about my January numbers. And one of the first things, or one of the last things that I said was commitment and staying consistent with this thing is going to make the difference for me this time around. So regardless of all the prior success, it doesn't mean anything if you're not going to stay consistent in this business. And the reason why POD was attractive, and the fact that Reggie and Tanya were introducing POD as their way to kind of get this message across, is because of the failures that we had in the past when it came to suppliers and their lack of being able to get a supply on time. So being able to deal with a print-on-demand company has allowed for me to focus on my business of generating revenue and have a partner, not just a supplier, but have a partner in actually fulfilling this particular product for me. So having somebody that I can email and say, hey, this person didn't get their stuff, can y'all please help? And that get taken care of without me having to physically take care of it makes a big difference for me. The fact that you guys are responsive makes a big difference for me. The fact that I can get Carlos on at any time I need anything done, I can hit Carlos and Carlos is going to respond to me makes a big difference for me. There's a thing about ShineOn and leveraging a print-on-demand company like yours that'll make a difference for a company like mine. Now it comes with a trade-off, right? The trade-off is you guys get paid too. So I'm generating revenue for ShineOn. I know ShineOn is going to take care of me because that revenue is helping to grow ShineOn. So we're partners in this thing here. On the flip side of that, when dealing with suppliers, they get your money. They could care less of whether or not that shipment come in. There's certain things that you have to deal with on that side of things that are so much more painful than having to deal with what we're doing with ShineOn. And on top of that, like Jabari just said, it's all done on the computer. It's all Canva. I don't have to travel nowhere and go see nothing. I don't got to go put nothing in no bag nowhere. I don't have to get no box and have no storage in my house. I don't have to do none of that. I could just sit here on Canva and design something and put it out and test it. If it don't work, scrap it, go on to the next, move on, deal with my customer service. I got a couple of VAs doing customer service, so that's all good. So it's like it's a really nice way to get involved in e-commerce if you're deciding to do so, because not saying dropshipping, anything wrong with that model. Is just that if you're not ready or if you're not equipped, there's going to be some pain there. Having a partner that's going to be there with you along the way, especially when it comes to fulfillment, make sure that product gets out and the person gets that product in a fast amount of time, because that's what we're battling with now. Back in 2015, somebody would wait a week, 2 weeks, but now 3 to 5 days, it got to go out, right? So having a U.S. supplier that could get product out, that I could access, I could have customer support, makes a huge difference to me, and hitting those numbers wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have a partner such as ShineOn to do it.
Dude, I really appreciate you saying that. And by the way, it's as reciprocal as it could possibly be, because we are very aware that without you guys, we have no business. Like, you're everything. Like, if you guys aren't succeeding, we aren't succeeding. So like, it's paradoxical, but this is something that I've got to hand it to Eric Taz, our CEO. He has seen from day one. From day one, he has always gone above and beyond to make sure that our merchants are supported. And he'll, occasionally he'll make some kind of promise that to a merchant that'll drive the rest of us a little crazy, because we got to go do something. But his heart is always in the right place. He is going above and beyond to make sure that you all have exactly what you need to succeed. And by the way, this has become a theme throughout the company. I want to give a real quick kind of anecdotal example. About 2 weeks ago, I had a merchant that was scaling reach out to me, and they said, hey, I don't want to give away the product they were selling, but they were saying, hey, when this product ships to the customer, sometimes they complain because of the way, like when the product was opened up, the way it looked. And what was happening here? Did we lose Ace?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. You're here. You're frozen on there you are. The way the product looked. So I'm gonna have to explain this. So when the way the product looked when they opened it up, this particular jewelry item had an extender, the extension chain, where it was like 4 or 5 inches. And what was happening was, when the product was shipped, like a long time ago now, what we found was the chain was getting tangled in the back during shipping. So what they did to prevent that was they would rotate the chain length through the loop, and they would have it so the chain extension is what was showing when the customer opened the box. But that's different than what was in the mock-up, right? So it solved the problem, but it created another one, is my point. And some customers would open the box. They wouldn't even get the chain out to see, oh, this is what I bought. They just open the box and they go, oh, this is different. And so the merchant reached out to me and he said, hey, we've got a problem. We need to fix it. I called into our director of ops, like right away. I mean, our director of ops immediately got up from his computer, went over, grabbed 2 subject matter experts on the floor, pulled them aside, and they got out a bunch of boxes and a bunch of these products, and they started experimenting with different ways that they could ship it so that they could solve both problems. They could keep the chain from getting tangled up and make sure the presentation was right for the customer. They solved that in like a half an hour and started in like immediately implemented a process and started shipping it differently that day. Right?
Yep.
And it was all because like we try to keep an open door with the merchants. We try to be talking and understanding what's going on. And it's like the ethos of the company now. It's incredible that there's just this theme kind of woven throughout all of our employees. And they're amazing. Like my hat's off to everybody that is working at ShineOn. The stuff that they do, the commitment they have is unlike anything I've ever seen working for a different company. So anyways, I really appreciate you saying that. It's completely reciprocal.
Absolutely. It makes a big difference. And again, our relationship started back in 2016. All right.
Yeah.
You know, and all the updates that you guys made over the years, I mean, you guys are staying on top of it. It's consistent. And that's the key word, I guess, for the day is consistency. Just stay consistent with what you're doing. If you're going to get in this game, stay consistent with it. It's going to pay off.
I need to go look at your ShineOn account number. It's probably like under 100 because you were one of the first ones through the door.
Well, see, that's a new account. Back then, I guess I could,
okay.
yeah. Back then, I could say the names of my stores. I was running a store called Ace Pro Discounters and another store called the Brooklyn Depot.
Nice.
Probably, if y'all have been on Facebook long enough, y'all probably saw them stores, man. We made millions of dollars on those stores, and so awesome. That was a long time ago. Yeah, this account that I have with you guys is everything from scratch, brand new store, brand new account, brand new everything.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's move to wrap this up. We're about 2 hours in, 200 people on the live all the way through.
Thanks y'all for staying on. Wow, 200 staying strong. Let's go, y'all. Thank you.
It's crazy. It's like this. It's like this every week, man. It's unbelievable. The people come in, they stick to this for 2 solid hours. So real quick, let's recap your tips. Stay committed to your education is tip number 1. Yep. Tip number 2, don't focus on the product. Right. It's tip number 2. Tip number 3, find your community. Right. Yep. Absolutely amazing. Dude, Ace, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate your time today.
I'm honored. I got plenty more stories to tell, but just for the sake of time, I want to keep it as quick as possible, man.
We can always do a round 2. Crush it for Mother's Day, and let's have
crush it for Mother's Day, and let's get back to it.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do that. Let's do it. And then you got to get my brother Jabari on. That's another thing. You got to get Jabari on because Jabari got to let me tell y'all something. Jabari, I'm gonna keep bigging up my brother, yo. I love that man. He's a big part of my life, big influence. And what I do on my store, he does on his store. He's done millions of dollars in sales. I've done millions of dollars in sales. He's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook. We do it together. We're partners on businesses. We run businesses separately. That's my accountability partner. EFA adds an extra piece to that, which I'm grateful for. But if you could find somebody like that, like somebody that's willing to go through the trenches with you, willing to say, yo, it's okay. Your failure is all right, bro. Just dust it off and keep going. Like somebody that's willing to cry with you, somebody that's willing to be vulnerable, somebody that's willing to say, yo, I got your back if you need me because I know you got mine. That's extremely important when it comes to entrepreneurship. Because it's a lonely world out here when it comes to us 24/7ers. The 9-to-5ers, you might have some co-workers, you got some people you can mingle with. And when you out here in front of this computer at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning by yourself crying because you spent $1,000 on ads and you made $900 in sales, you got to have somebody that's going to keep you going. And I'm grateful for my brother for being that for me. I'm there for him as well, the same way. And if you guys are blessed enough to have that in your life, to be able to have somebody that you can go back and forth with like that, please cherish it, take advantage of it, grow together, and I'll see y'all at the top.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, hey, real quick, we talked a ton about Reggie and the Ecom Family Academy, but let's give them a quick plug. So
Yeah.
there's the Ecom Family Academy group, which I think is where all the course members and stuff hang out. But I think you got to buy the course to be in it. Is it Ecom? Reggie, I think you were in the chat, or there's a ton of family people here. Drop the link to wherever folks can pick up the course if they're interested. Drop it in the chat here if you could. Let's give them a good plug.
Yeah, shout out to Reg. That's a big thing, is to be able to make yourself available to teach others what you've learned, because this, what we do as entrepreneurs, especially in e-commerce, could change a lot of people's lives. So Jabari and I are working on, I think it's the more people that we could get taught, the better. You know what I mean? It's not about competing with each other or cannibalizing anything. It's all about us just being able to continue paying it forward. Because the amount of money that we invested into the course, it was minimal compared to what you get back in value. So being able to make yourself available to people to show them and teach them what you have, I'm gonna, because even though I've been in the game just as long, I've never made myself available like that, and I think it's important that I do so. Shout out to Ecom Family. The link is in there. Jabari posted it in there. Y'all can see that in there. And definitely, look out for what we got coming as well, because I think we want to continue to grow the community. So Jabari and I are working on some stuff in the background as well.
Awesome. Well, hey, Ace, thanks for coming on. Folks in the chat, let Ace know how much you appreciate him coming on, sharing his story. Crush it for Mother's Day. I'd like to have you back, or whoever cracks the nut in Europe first is going to be back on here for sure. We're going to be talking about that.
We're working on it. I got pixels firing off right now. Hey,
let's do it. Let's do it. All right, everybody.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thanks,
guys. Till next time, happy selling. Take care.